I'm so excited because this episode of Brewed takes place in the city where I first fell in love with beer. This is Dubuque, Iowa. We're here at the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium. They've got a great exhibit that's open until April the 22nd called DuBREWque. See what they did there? It makes sense because Dubuque is a town with a very rich brewing history. Back in 1869, Dubuque had 9 separate breweries. We've crunched the numbers, and that works out to about 1 brewery for every 2,000 people that lived here back then. There's a lot more people, not as many breweries, but there are some great new breweries opening up, and we'll take you there a little bit later on in the show. But for now, we thought we would take you around and show you just a glimpse of this great exhibit celebrating Dubuque's rich brewing history. This is Wendy Scardino. She is the Director of Communications here at the museum. What an incredible exhibit this is.
We think so.
I mean, Dubuque, if you're going to go somewhere to learn about beer, Dubuque's the place to do it. But this is specifically Dubuque beer that we're talking about.
Yes, it is. We talk about Dubuque brewing history from pre-Prohibition a little bit through now.
So pre-Prohibition, when it started, when they were making enough beer that you could swim in it, and then Prohibition, when they were still making a lot of beer.
They were still making a lot of beer. In fact, rumor has it that Al Capone was smuggling beer and spirits through town.
He would sneak it through Dubuque.
Yes.
And what was he using, like milk jugs
milk
or something?
Jugs.
Do you have any of those milk jugs here?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's crack them open. Maybe there's a fortune in gold in it. We could do it live on television. The rich history of Dubuque brewing, that's something that's very important, I imagine, to people that live here and around the region.
Definitely. Dubuque has, again, a rich brewing history. When Prohibition hit, Dubuque had the only brewery still in existence following Prohibition. So,
like in the entire state of Iowa,
there
was one brewery, and it was here.
And it was here. And so,
how are they able to stay open?
Well, they made some things called near beer, if you're familiar, low alcohol content.
Genius.
And root beer.
And that's something you can learn about while you're here. You can also learn about what happened after Prohibition.
Yes, after Prohibition, we have kind of the resurgence. We have the town coming into favor with Hollywood for a few movies. Fist, Take This Job and Shove It.
Right.
Where we utilize some of our local breweries for those films.
Yeah, Take This Job and Shove It takes place at the old Dubuque Star.
Right down the street.
Am I wrong? At some point, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. Does a monster truck like drive into the brewery? Have you seen the movie? It's okay if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have actually, but...
Do you don't remember a monster truck? Am I thinking of a different movie? It's possible. Take This Job and Shove It and Fist were both filmed at that brewery. And now there's a new resurgence. I know that's not part of what's going on here. This is about the history of what happened, not what's going on now. But you do have the local breweries involved in this exhibit.
Yes, so we have partnered with local breweries, again, this resurgence of local breweries, and on select Saturdays throughout the exhibit, we'll have beer tastings in front of the exhibit, and we will have happy hours on Thursday evenings throughout the exhibit where folks can come, taste, get their own DuBREWque pint glass.
DuBREWque. Love it. And it's really kind of an interactive experience. There's a lot of things, we're only giving you a taste of what you'll be able to see here. But there's things where you kind of encourage people to get their hands on.
Yes, we would like you to race your friend in filling a mug of beer the fastest.
How about that?
We'd like you to play a true or false game on some of the historical facts related to brewing.
I love it.
Yeah, and then we've also got where you can hear some of the interesting behind the scenes facts about Fist and Take This Job and Shove It.
So when we come to Dubuque and we want to see this exhibit, can we see other things in the museum? How does that work?
We are a 14-acre campus.
Yeah, you are.
This exhibit is included with general admission, and so enjoy the exhibit, bring the family, pet a stingray, visit the otters, and then come over and
learn about Dubuque brewing and pet a stingray. You understand now why we had to come here, right? Like, you know why we had to be here. And you need to get here while the getting is good because this exhibit closes on April the 22nd.
Yes.
And then what happens to all this cool stuff?
All this cool stuff will make its way back into the collection, but who knows when we'll bring it out next.
That's awesome. So there's hope for another beer exhibit, as well as this thing's going.
Definitely.
You have to bring it back. And especially in Dubuque, where these people love their beer. Perfect. Wendy, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Great exhibit. You got to come here and check it out. And then check out the local breweries. Hey, that gives me an idea. Let's check out some of the local breweries. You got the arcade games, you got the beautiful atmosphere, and you of course got the delicious back pocket beer.